Alright folks, welcome to another beer review. Currently in the middle of burning leaves because they're littering the garden. So I thought, what better beer to accompany such a prestigious event than a can of the Norse Star, which is obviously by Northern Monk in collaboration with Lervig. And this is a vanilla, cacao and almond imperial stout, clocking in at 9% ABV, 440ml can, and it's based in indulgent imperial stout inspired by Norwegian ingredients. Now, from what I've heard, and I'm not sure if this is gospel, but the recipe for this is sort of inspired by one of the Dark City beers, imperial stouts that Northern Monk did. So I'm not sure if it's like a rebrew of an old recipe or taking an older recipe as inspiration and then coming up with something new. I don't know, but yeah, so this was kindly picked up by my good friend Adam, aka Mersey Beers, tier 3. And yeah, that's another reason why I thought I'd have a drink, because it's the last day before tier 3 comes into place. Like that's going to fucking change anything, but we won't get into that discussion because people get so upset over trivial things like that. Anyway, so yeah, looking good so far. Got brand appropriate glassware, of course. Oh, fire's picking up now. So without any further ado, let's get this open. See what we get. Of course, this being a supermarket craft beer, it has divided opinion on the forums and on social media. You can't help but get the impression that some people are giving it negative reviews just because of its nature, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's like £4 in Morrison's, which you can get imperial stouts from bottle shops sometimes for that price. So you know, there's always that sort of debate about why would you spend that much money in a supermarket when, let's be honest, the supermarkets have had quite a sort of reputation for beers that haven't been stored properly and that are completely old. But I've yet to really have a bad experience with supermarket beers, so I'm not going into this with any preconceptions, to be honest. But beer in the glass then, and that is pretty much jet black with a lovely mocha looking head on the top. So let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh. I'm getting a big praline aroma, getting loads of vanilla. Yeah, there's a really predominant vanilla aroma coming through. A little bit of a slight dusting of cacao. Subtle almond. It's almost like almond essence. It's a little bit of smokiness there. Nice cakey sweetness. Yeah, it smells nice. You're not getting any of that ABV on the nose, so let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, folks. Body's really nice. It's got a velvetiness. It's one of those bodies where, as he looks down at his own, it's one of those bodies that has that sort of you know, you like dissolving like cocoa powder in milk or something like that, and you don't mix it through properly and you get a slight graininess added with a little bit of texture. Always get that impression when I get a beer that's got a body like that. I've just realised the white balance is completely out on this one. Who cares? You are getting loads of almond on this though, which I do like almond, or almond, however you want to say it. Always reminds me of bacon at Christmas in Germany, almonds. especially when you make cinnamon stars. Don't get me wrong, the ones that they sell in Aldi and Lidl, just realised, I've got a full pack of Lebkuchen that I've not opened yet, which have probably been eaten by someone else. I digress. Which, by the way, it's so hard to find cinnamon stars now in supermarkets. Anyway, but there's nothing better than making your own. I love cinnamon stars. A little bit of icing on top. Zimtsterne. This is really nice. A little bit of dark chocolate coming through. Got a little bit of a rant about Lidl actually coming up. It's like almost like a bit of spiciness there. Almost reminds me of cardamom. Yeah, that sort of like musky, the school's coming. That sort of like musky, like scented candle sort of thing, or potpourri almost. Fragrant. That's my impression of Tony Wills. It's actually quite savoury and bitter on the back end. I'm waiting for Parcel Force to drop off a package from North, but it doesn't look like it's on Parcel Force's system, even though I got a confirmation from Parcel Force to say it'd be delivered today, and I can't fucking track it. But yeah, I was in Lidl recently. That might just be the one that I was in, but I've noticed a pattern on the last few occasions. So went to Lidl because we've not been there for a while, and I always like it with some of the German and Austrian and like Eastern European stuff that they stock, and I like their sort of themed weeks as well. So I thought, do you know what, let's get some pretzels. They didn't have any. They didn't have even like an empty shelf labelled pretzels. So I don't know if they've had to discontinue them, because I know some supermarkets are cutting down on certain products because of restrictions, or whether they sort of like don't bake them every day. So yeah, because I know sometimes the bakery section can be rotational, so that pissed me off. So I thought, well, alright then, no need to worry, I can get them another time. Which, by the way, does anybody know where I can get like frozen pretzels in bulk for a good price? Please, please, please do let me know. So I thought, oh, I'll tell you what I'm going to get. I'm going to get some Nürnbergwurst. Oh, that's not what they're called. But you know, the little, you get them in a multi-pack of like 12 plastic sealed, shrink wrapped. They're basically the sausages from Nuremberg. Didn't have any. Nowhere on the meat section or the chilled section did they even have, you know, an empty shelf. Which I've noticed they stopped stocking those things ages ago, and I hope they've not permanently stopped stocking it, because, mate, get yourself some English breakfast muffins, fry yourself up some of the Nürnbergwurst, and just have them on time, mate. I know it's not like a German delicacy or anything like that, but when I used to live in Germany, that would always be like a really comforting snack. So I didn't have any of that. And when I went to the Christmas section, Lebkuchen, the almond thing, not strudel, what's it called? It's like a marzipan log. What is it called? They had all that. They had like all the spiced biscuits and things like that. Cinnamon stars? No. Forget about it. And again, that's another thing that I've noticed in recent years, not being able to get hold of. But as I said, if you bake your own, it's much better. Look at that pot belly. Anyway, I look like a worker, don't I? Never done a half day's work in my life. Working in call centres, not hard work. But yeah, I tell you what, shit tons of marzipan in this, and I really like marzipan. I like almonds. I like almond-based cakes and biscuits. So this, to me, it's a Christmas beer without falling into the trap of being like just a generic Christmas beer. It's got all the rich indulgence. It's got the spices. And yeah, all I can think about is Christmas. It's not even like autumnal. It's just Christmas in a glass. And I can't see why anyone would say that this was a bad beer, unless they were unlucky enough to maybe have like an oxidized can or something like that. There is, I won't lie, and it's a flavour that I'm not a fan of in stouts. There's a berry-like flavour there, which can sometimes come from the yeast. See, I'm not a fan of like cherry stouts. So when I get that flavour when it's not a cherry stout, I pick up on it a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually got quite a sweet berry-like fruitiness to it. Almost like a syrup, like a berry syrup that you put on like pancakes or something. And now that I've picking that flavour up, it's going to affect the score slightly. I hope I get this North order. It's going to piss me off if I don't. I mean, I know I'd get my money back, but I don't think they'll be able to send replacements of what I'd ordered. You'll have seen an unboxing video by the time you watch this. So yeah, the only thing that's ever so slightly letting this beer down is that very syrupy-like character, which I'm gonna attribute to the yeast. Rob from Hopscene will know exactly what I'm talking about. Aside from that, I can't fault it. It's like you've got an almond-based biscuit or a cookie or a cake, and you've got two sandwiched together with a bit of like blackcurrant jam or something, or raspberry jam, which makes it sound quite nice. But just that one little flavour I really do not like in a stout, especially when there's been no fruit added. But yeah, you get all the vanilla cacao, but primarily the almond, which I'm all for. So I said I'm going to detract points for it. To me, this is still an 8 out of 10 beer. Lovely stuff. In terms of Imperial Stouts available at supermarkets, it's definitely up there with one of the best. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go to Morrison's to spend £8 on Omnipio. I probably would, because I want the bottle. But yeah, I think, to me, and I might contradict previous statements, but right now, thinking about it, I think my favourite Imperial Stout you can pick up from supermarkets is the Brewdog Evil Twin Nitro Imperial Stout. I just think that's an absolutely gorgeous beer. And this is really good as well. I mean, 8 out of 10 is nothing to sniff at. And I would definitely, if I saw it, because I don't really get a chance to go to Morrison's, the nearest one is in Ormskirk, and that's fucking wank. It's like utter wank. The beer selection in there is tripe, really. But yeah, is it worth the money? I'd say it's worth giving it a try. You can spend that money on much. I mean, you could buy potentially 2, or you could go towards the, is it 3 for 5 or 4 for 6 in Morrison's? I'm not too sure. But yeah, A very flavoursome Imperial Stout. And this video has gone on for way too long, so I'm going to cut it off here. Plus I need to put more leaves in the old fire. Because it's still burning, but there's hardly any smoke. Anyway, so if you've tried this, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. If you've got any information regarding the recipe of this, highly recommended. Also, do your Uncle Peter a favour and let him know where you can get frozen pretzels from at a good price. If you suggest it and I buy some, I might even throw you a gift voucher to a beer website. There we go. So hit me up. Anyway, thank you for watching. Go check out Northern Monk. Go check out their web shop and social media. I'm not sure if this is available through their web shop or whether it's just available in Morrison's. If it is Morrison's that this is from, can't remember. Had it for a little bit of a while. Massive thank you to Adam for gifting me this. And it's definitely one that I would have again. And yeah, I've got quite a lot of Northern Monk reviews on the channel. One of my favourite breweries. And I tell you what, I'm really enjoying the supermarket stuff. So yeah, give me your thoughts, opinions on that as well. Anyway, cheers for watching, folks, and I shall hopefully itchy neck. Hopefully I'll see you all later. See you later.